Alright you guys, so if you tuned in about a week ago, you know that we were getting ready to do another project car reveal. You'll notice we're not at the home garage, we're actually at my folks' house in the abandoned area where all of this stuff is getting taken out because I don't have enough room for another project car. So that is where this thing resides. I said we're going to explain it to you, we're explaining it to you right now. So you guys, I hope you like the new project car. Let's roll it. Alright, so why? And yes, I played around with you guys a little bit. I might have insinuated that this was a Skyline, but I didn't lie to you. This is a Japanese car, and this is an A32. The Skyline was an R32. The 4th gen Maxima was an A32. It was a front-wheel drive layout equipped with the VQ30DE. Before you guys check out on me for insinuating that we were getting a Skyline, this car is very underrated. And it's time for a little history lesson. So let's talk about the Nissan Maxima. Alright you guys, so why did I get a 1998 Nissan Maxima? Well, if you couldn't tell by the clips, and you're going to have to forgive me, I am using my brand new gimbal. I bought a Zune Smooth 4, so I'm going to hopefully learn how to use it better and get you some better shots, better quality, better stabilization in the videos. But this was my first attempt at it. So why did we get this car? And to explain that, we're going to have to take a little history lesson, you guys. If you guys remember my 1996 Camry, I'm going to insert a clip of that right here. That car was the car I bought because I could not have this specific car. Now, the 4th gen Maxima is a car that is super underrated. It came with the famous VQ engine from Nissan. This was a VQ30DE. Sure, now they have better engines like the VQ35 and the VQ37, all those kind of things, bigger, better engine, variable intake time and stuff like that, but this was the engine that started it all. If you read a little bit up on your Nissan Skyline history, the VQ30DE-TT was actually developed for the GTR, and so if you really want to stretch it, you could say that, no, you couldn't, but we never got that engine. In fact, only Japan got that engine, and it never even got put into production for them. It was kind of like a race car development type thing. This car is very underrated, and it has a lot of unforeseen iconic moments in the tuner scene that people seem to overlook. Now, this made a good for the time 195 horsepower from the factory, and it was good for 0 to 60 in the high 6-second range, would run the quarter mile a decent time as well. I actually got this car because a long time ago, I had one that was completely clapped out, and that thing was an automatic California emissions, slowest one they made, 300,000 miles on the clock, and I could still hit 60 in about 7.5 seconds, which is pretty incredible. This car was factory a 5-speed car, which is exactly what I want. The guy that I bought this from built this for me originally a couple years ago. The auto trans that he put in it, because he didn't have a manual anymore, was bad, and we didn't know that. I didn't have time to wait, so I ended up getting the Camry instead. This thing has heated leather seats. The interior is just like brand new, you guys. So what are the iconic moments that this car had that we don't know about? Well, the VQ30, in my opinion, is one of the best V6 engines that was ever built. It's smooth, it can last a very long time, and you can squeeze a lot of power out of these. Back in the day, you could buy a bunch of still-in upgrades for this car, and if you remember right, there was a minor role in the Fast and Furious that this car played that you might not have known about. I'll put that clip in here right now. So yes, Vince from the first Fast and Furious movie, and he moved through the franchise, was actually driving a 4th gen Nissan Maxima in that film. That car had about every Stillen part that you could imagine on it, including a Stillen supercharger at 6 psi with an FMU, fuel management unit. Was running on the stock fuel system, about 264 wheel horsepower. Now, that's not a ton of horsepower by today's standards, but 264 wheel horsepower is still a damn good number for a 90s four-door sedan, right? So I bought this car because it's just kind of an underdog. I love the styling. The front I'm not too crazy about. I love the rear lights, and I think this is something that we can have a lot of fun with. So after the Fox body is done, the plans for this car: lower it, some window tint. I'm getting rid of the rear wing, that has to go. I'm gonna try to scrounge up some Stillen parts. I'm gonna get rid of this automatic transmission. I paid $600 for this car. It does move, but you have to neutral drop it because the torque converter locks up. So we're gonna get rid of that and find a manual. In a perfect world, we could find a 6-speed manual out of the 5th generation Maxima that got the 3.5 liter VQ. I don't know if that's going to happen. I would be perfectly happy with a 5-speed. So those are things to watch for. Like I said, it's not going to get touched until the Fox body's done, which now I'll show you in another video. We got the fenders off, the doors off. Those are getting stripped down, ready for paint. We're about ready to get the car on the rotisserie lift. I have to have a second person with me to take the rear hatch off, and then it's about it. I got everything else pretty much stripped off the car, so it's ready to do that. And I'm really excited, you guys. Cars are like a part of us, and I have a special spot in my heart for American muscle cars. I also have a special spot in my heart for tuner cars, and I've always been someone who really likes the underdogs. And the Maxima was a damn quick car for what it was at the time. The A32 Maxima, I think, deserves more credit than it has. And even though it's going to be a challenge to find some of these performance parts nowadays, it's a challenge that I'm up for, and I'm excited to bring to you guys. Oh! I also got these limited production fenders, which I can barely fit in here to show you. Let me see if I can readjust. It's not going to be able to get this out of here. But I got some fiberglass fenders that I was told were made by Stillen. I'm not 100% sure what the company was, but they're discontinued now. They got some little ricer vents on the side, so I'm not sure if I'm going to use those or not. Now, my end goal, what I would love to do, which probably isn't going to be plausible because Stillen has discontinued all the parts, would be to build a car that's mechanically the same as the one in the Fast and Furious franchise, minus the part where theirs was an automatic. I want mine to be a manual. But I would love to find a Stillen supercharger to put on this car. If that falls through, I'd be okay with a turbo setup that I would have to basically do myself. But I am really, really excited about this car, you guys. It is unbelievably clean. There's no rust on it, which is really hard to find in these things nowadays. Most of them that you find are going to be clapped out. I'm really glad that this car is as clean as it is, and I'm excited, beyond excited, to share it with you guys. The last thing I'm going to tell you that I'm debating is keeping the car this color right now, black, and just maybe clean it up, maybe do a respray in black. It wouldn't be much work as it's already black. Or my other color option that I was thinking of is in the Fast and Furious franchise, this car was painted a Dodge Viper blue. I already found the paint code, I have all that squared away. That might be something we look into as well, because that car looked pretty in that color. I don't want to build an exact movie replica, so we're not going to completely rice it out, which was a thing of the time, you know, it fit in the movie, whatever. I don't really want to do that. But you guys, this has been the project reveal of the A32 Nissan Maxima. Again, I apologize for having a little fun with you and maybe alluding to the fact that I had a Skyline, which I definitely do not. But I'm really excited to bring this to you guys, and I hope you enjoyed the reveal of the Maxima video. If you haven't done it already, please drop a comment down below and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos of the Maxima in the future, but for now, the twin supercharged Fox body build. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.